Welcome to the Light and Love of Unity of Lawrence. So nice to have you here. I guess it's time to say Merry Christmas, right? We're just right there. So it's great to have you all here, and it's great to have you all on Zoom. And I'm Cindy Smarsh, your worship assistant this morning. And our dear Holly Taylor is not feeling well this morning. So as if Kelley Hunt doesn't have enough to do, being our speaker and our special musical guest, she's also going to lead us in our songs today. And then I believe there's going to be an interpretive dance later. Juggling. What else was it? Impressions. Okay, yeah. So, oh gosh. All right. So in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. With full hearts and open minds, we gather today to accept the endless possibilities of peace on earth and peace in our hearts. We acknowledge the existence of pain and injustice in the world, but we also acknowledge limitless love and our limitless being. We welcome our divine inheritance as co-creators. We know that we are already standing in the light of love, of healing, and of transformation. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray one-on-one. So if you have anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see Diane Silver. Where are you, Diane? There you are, right up here, following today's service. You can also fill out a little purple slip that's in front of you with your prayer requests and put them in the basket or in the box, the wood box out in the foyer, right next to the office door. And all your prayers will be held confidential unless you request otherwise that you want it shared with the congregation. The chaplains will also pray with you during the week. Okay, well, one of my greatest joys as the board president is I get to introduce new members. And we recently had someone who went through part of the new membership class and decided to hold off, and then she changed her mind, and so we've helped her fulfill those requirements. So Tamra Murdoch, would you please come forward? We're so happy you went through this process. So Rev Anna Schaus and I, because she skipped the last two classes originally, we really put her through it to get through the process. Anyway, let's stand and please bless her this morning together. Our protection ornament is her gift. Thank you, Tamara. Okay, now we're going to sing I Saw Three Ships. I saw three ships sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw three ships sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what in the ships saw three on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And what was in the ships saw three on Christmas Day in the morning. A
ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. So let us all rejoice and sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Let the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. One more time. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
Good job, everybody. I love the love in the room, the energy, the joy. It's wonderful. All right, so let's share our unity intentions together, shall we? So please affirm with me unity's founding principle together. There is only one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And the Unity of Lawrence vision statement together. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And the Unity of Lawrence mission statement together. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. So Kelley Hunt is a singer, songwriter, recording artist, speaker, and workshop facilitator based in Lawrence, Kansas. She is currently at work on her 8th album and an additional album featuring songs she's written and performed for New Thought churches throughout the United States, both expected to be released in 2025. Welcome, Kelley.
Shepherds kept them watching over silent flocks by night. Well, behold, throughout the heavens, you know they came a holy light, and they were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. That's right. You know the shepherds and the wise men who journeyed from afar. Well, they heard the angels singing, and beneath the Bethlehem star, them singing, now go tell it on the mountain, tell it over the hills, and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Now, there's no law that says you can't get up and dance if you want. Because you know where we are. We're at Unity of Lawrence, y'all. And if you're at home watching on Zoom, get on up if you want it. Here we go. You know, down in a lonely manger, that humble baby lay, sent out for our salvation on that blessed Christmas day. They were singing, now go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Well, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today I'm going to talk about joy, and I just experienced a slice of that just now. It's nice to be in a community where you can feel free to get up and move and shake. When I was growing up, I witnessed a couple of different kinds of church services, and I really loved them both. One was there was lots of music, kids were involved, it was a beautiful building, a little bit more reserved, but you know what? There was a lot of love in that room. And the other was, there was a lot of talking going on. When whoever was giving the talk, usually the preacher, somebody would say, "That's right. Oh, yes. Oh, tell it." That's right. I'm talking about that. That's it. And if somebody got the particular feeling and they knew that it was speaking to them that day, here, see, Holly's taller than me, so. Holly, if you're watching, we love you and we miss you and we hope you feel better soon. Yeah. Every now and then somebody would come down the aisle to the music and feel it. And they were feeling it. And they were gonna come down, that's it. They were coming. Because something had moved inside of them that felt authentic and real, and it wasn't for show. And it was an expression of joy. You know that song, I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my, I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. That's right, okay. So this morning, we're going to be talking about that, and hopefully we're going to be feeling that. Joy can be quiet. Joy can be boisterous and celebratory. Joy can be peaceful. Joy can be combined with sorrow. It's all part of it, a part of the human experience. I sound like a broken record when I say this every time I'm here, but we are 100% divine and 100% human. So as human beings, we can feel many things at once. And if we're very lucky, joy is one of those things. Joy is a little different from happiness. For example, happiness is an emotion that we experience during lunch with a good friend. Joy is the aggregate satisfaction we feel from all of our meaningful relationships. I can be happy as a clam to have lunch with friends, and that's what I get to do today, and I'm so happy about that. But I feel joy that they're in my life, and they've welcomed me into theirs, and it's an ongoing feeling. It doesn't have to be over the top. It can be deep and wide and gentle. This morning when I woke up, and many mornings when I wake up, we, in our living room, and we live in a little box on the prairie. It's small but mighty. We also like to call it the house of love. But when I'm up early in the morning, which didn't used to be very often, but now it is. So, and I'm grateful for that. I've seen many, many sunsets in my life, but lately, in the last 2 or 3 years, I've seen a lot of sunrises. But when I sit in my living room, I'm looking at windows that face to the west. So I'm watching, as I did this morning, as the bright sun comes up, but I'm not looking into the sun where it's bright and overpowering. I'm looking at the yard to the west, and I'm seeing the remnants of the sun start to slowly light that area up, and it goes up the trees and in the branches and out on the grass and over our sweet doggie that lives next door, who's roaming the range early in the morning. And it's a gradual, slow lightening of the day, filled with light. Now, I'm all about having the big, bright sun, too, and having that big old joy thing just go, bam, there's your joy. But I also like it when it slips in gradually, and I can be more conscious and mindful of the fact that there's the light, and it's coming every day, and it's coming at its own pace. And whether I notice it or not, it's going to be there. So what brings us joy? Think about just for a moment. When you were a child, what did you love to do? What brought you joy? And for me, one of the things was being outside. I loved to be outside a lot. I could be outside alone. We had a tree house. It wasn't much of a tree house, but there were boards that were nailed on the side of a tree and a little platform with a kind of a rail on the side that my brother had built. But I liked to go up there when nobody else was around. I would sit up in the tree thinking, hey, nobody can see me here. Well, everybody knew where I was. But that felt like a quiet joy, a private joy. That was my joy. The other thing I loved to do was sit at a piano when nobody else was around and just play and close my eyes. I started doing that when I was 3, when I didn't realize anybody was listening. And it felt good to me. There was some kind of expression for me that brought me this deep well of joy. It didn't just make me happy. It was something I wanted to do, I needed to do, I loved to do, I still do. I'll still have quiet time at the piano by myself. And when I was in 3rd grade, I had a wonderful teacher, Mrs. Karen Pruitt. I loved Mrs. Pruitt. We'd all had a rough year the year before with Mrs. Spencer in 2nd grade, who did not love children and retired soon after. And so we were very tight and closed up, and we felt anything but joy there, and that's a sad state of affairs. So here's a group of children, and back then, our classes were really large. There's a person in this room here today that went to the same school I did, starting in 1st grade. We went to school together, didn't we? Now, we were in different classrooms because my name started with the W, Kelley Wade, and her name started with the C. But we were both there, so I have a feeling you know what I'm talking about. So when we got into Mrs. Pruitt's class, we were like stiff little soldiers. We didn't want to move or say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And slowly, gradually, she helped melt that ice. And I've told this before, I think. One of the ways she did it was she had what she called a talent show. But the thing is, everybody got to do something if they wanted to, and it happened like every Friday. And the custodian would roll in the old blonde-colored piano, roll it in there. If you wanted to play piano, you could, or you could read something or tell a story, or everybody had, like 2 or 3 minutes. And so she slowly eased us out of that feeling of constriction and eased us very, very slowly into relaxation and finally into joy. And it got to be where we couldn't hardly wait for Fridays and that piano to roll in. And nobody was under any pressure to do anything. And so I just thought, shoot, I'll get up and play a little something. Because I would listen to the radio in the morning. My mom would listen to the radio as she made breakfast for us. Weren't we lucky to have a mother who did that for us? And I'd hear songs, on the radio that were playing. And at that time, it was a big variety of music. It was everything from rock and roll to soul music to R&B to country. They all played it on that station. And I took a real shine to the song Ring of Fire. Yeah. It's not, darling. But if you go to YouTube and you look up Ring of Fire, and not right now, don't play it right now. Okay. I was in 3rd grade, so I didn't really understand exactly what the content meant, but I just thought, that I liked the beat, I liked the music, and I thought, okay, here's my chance. Talent show, it's Friday. I'm going to work my way up to that piano. And I'm playing it, and I started singing it. Love is a burning thing. It burns, 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 ring of fire. I was so happy to do that I got some joy down in my heart. And what happened for me and all the other kids, we had a boy that belched the alphabet. That was fun. And we said, hey, rockin', yeah. And our teacher, to everything that everybody did, we all knew we just had a couple minutes, she said, yes, yes, yes. And then gradually we began to feel comfortable. And then we began to feel anticipation. And then we began to feel joy. Because we knew not only for ourselves, but for each other, it's okay. It's all right. I was having lunch with my friend Luann. This was pre-pandemic. We were downtown. It was a beautiful day. And many of you here know Luann, and she has a great sense of humor, and she's really smart, and she's funny, and she's very deep and loving and compassionate, and just nobody like Luann. I love her. And we finished with our lunch. We were walking out on Mass Street, about 9th and Mass. And there was some joke that we'd heard or something that we were talking about to each other where we were going, free hugs, you know. And we were just talking to each other. And this young man walked by and he goes, free hugs? And she said, you bet. And he ran up and gave her a hug. And what did I feel in that moment? Appreciation, joy. I thought, oh, it's no joke. Somebody here needs a hug. And it was safe to do it, and he clearly needed one. And we looked like, two middle-aged gals that were non-threatening, weren't going to hurt him. Little did he know, we're in disguise. But there's joy not only in that action, but there was joy in the memory of it. Every time I remember that, I just think, oh. And what happened there was we were in the right place at the right time. We allowed it to happen. We were open to it happening. And we just went with it. So during this Advent time, when we're anticipating Christmas, the Latin word Advent means coming arrival. It means something great is on the way. Something great is on the way. Unity founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore understood that Christmas was a season of joy and expectancy, but also viewed it as a time for inner celebration, when the Christ consciousness is born within us in human hearts, in our own hearts. Charles Fillmore describes the, quote, Christ as, quote, the divine idea that contains all divine ideas. By extension, Jesus, who revealed and demonstrated the Christ potential in the physical world, becomes the, quote, embodiment of all divine ideas. He discovered the Christ template within. And then through his teaching and his actions, revealed their availability to each one of us as well. To each one of us as well. And the awareness of this truth is the greatest gift we could possibly receive. If we become aware that, yeah, we're 100% human, we're 100% divine. We have that potential, and there was a human being that was demonstrating that for us. The beliefs and not necessarily the beliefs, but the way that Unity looks at the Christmas story is in metaphysical terms. There's a lot of beautiful metaphor there, the expectancy. There's something really great coming. Rumi says, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. What did you love to do when you were a child? Without judgment, without worry, without even thinking. One of the richest sources of joy is getting totally immersed in an activity and putting all our soul and talent into it. The joy of creating or accomplishing something can give us an incredible boost of power. An incredible boost. Sometimes when our granddaughter is with us, and she's with us almost every week, She will get so immersed in what she's doing, and it changes, as she gets older. She's 3. What? She's 3 already. But she will be so immersed. The other day she wanted to build something with blocks. And we just let her be and have her time. And she built this shape that none of us would have thought of. It was beautiful. But if I had asked her a question during it, she couldn't even hear me. She was like, oh, okay, and then this, and then that. She was immersed. She was happy. She was so full of joy. And at the end of it, she said to herself, yes, yes, yes. Very similar. Yes, yes, yes. She was immersed. Thursday, I had the joy of leading a group singing circle, song, big thing. Over 100 people came to the library, and we sang holiday songs for an hour. And people walked in, some people by themselves, some people knew each other. There was some anticipation there, and I had planned it out, and they all had lyric sheets, and many of you who have sung with me before know that we warmed up before, and there was a little fear in the room, like, don't you ask me to sing, And I immediately said, you don't need to sing if today isn't a good day. You can just bring your energy into the room and listen if today's a good day to listen. And eventually we all began to sing. We sang for almost an hour. And I was up in the front where the piano was. There was a beautiful piano there, and I could hear like 110 voices coming at me. I could hear how beautiful it was washing over me. And in addition to Christmas carols and songs of the season, I started with the John Lennon song, Imagine. And I only did songs that I thought folks would know pretty well, and they all knew that song. But by the end of that time, people were more relaxed. I told them they could get up, they could put themselves in the room wherever they wanted. I was never going to call on anybody to sing alone. I could visibly see shoulders going down, like, oh, okay, all right. Oh, and they're not going to have to read music. Thank the Lord. No, we're just going to look at words, sing what you want, we're going to have a good time. So at the end, I said to these folks, and I mean it is a joy to hear voices singing together, who want to be there, who are celebrating together. There is a power in the multiplication of 1 to 2 to 3 to up to 110 people. And I could hear all those voices coming at me, and I just said, what a joy. And I want you to experience it too, if you choose to. And I asked them to get up in the auditorium of the library and just make a big circle around the room. They could stand behind me or wherever they wanted to. And then I said, we're going to end the way we began, which is with the song Imagine. Now I want you to hear what you sound like. And they sang it, and it was different. Because they could hear all these voices joining with them. People were not feeling alone anymore. People were not feeling stressed just for that time. People were feeling free to sing the way they wanted. People were feeling free to listen. People were feeling joy in that moment. Joy is the gift that keeps on giving. When we experience it ourselves, we sometimes don't know when it's coming. Whoop, there's some joy. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect it. It will slip in when we least expect it. And when we allow someone else or invite somebody else into that experience, the experience I was having was joy in hearing all their voices. I didn't want them to miss it. I didn't know that if it would hit them the same way, if they would feel the same way I did. But it was that and more. And for that moment, there was joy, nothing but joy in that room. And sometimes singing and sometimes holidays can bring a combination of feelings. One of my friends, Alice Eberhardt Wright, wrote a song called Sorrow Full of Joy. This time of year and any milestones or holidays can bring up a combination of remembrance, sorrow, and yes, even joy in the memories of what and who
has gone before, but is no longer with us in person during this time. What's gone before? Who's gone before? Who is not at the table with us? Only in spirit. How do we feel when we remember them? If we're lucky, joy, gratitude, and sorrow. And it's okay to feel all of those things. I want to read a little bit of that song to you. Alice is an exceptional person who was married to an exceptional man, Lee Wright. Many of us saw Lee when he was on KTWU helping with the fundraisers. He also was a songwriter and a guitarist. And I hadn't heard this song before. I went over during a time period when Lee was not doing well physically, but he was still at home. And I had offered to come over. They have a beautiful piano that he had gotten for Alice. And just to play some music for him in a quiet, easygoing setting that wasn't in the public eye. And when I first heard this song, I was so moved by it. I thought, oh, Alice. And she sat and played and sang it for me. And at his memorial service, and let me tell you, Alice is a strong woman. She got up and spoke and greeted everyone, and she had this song sung. And the chorus says, sorrow full of joy, love throughout each day. Memory holds a touch that brightens shades of gray. We can feel both at the same time. We can feel all at the same time because, of course, we know we're human. It's okay to feel joy in the midst of our sorrow. In my family, one of the things that gets us through the really trying and difficult times, which there have been many of the last couple years, is humor. And my dad had a lot of humor running through his veins, and so does my mom as well. So I appreciate during tears, if something irreverent is said or something funny comes up, we allow ourselves to laugh through those tears. Mary Oliver has a beautiful poem, many beautiful poems about joy. It says, don't hesitate if you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy. Don't hesitate. Give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything. But very likely, you notice it in an instant when love begins anyway. That's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. Howard Thurman wrote, I will light candles this Christmas. Candles of joy despite the sadness. Candles of hope where despair keeps watch. Candles of courage where fear is ever present. Candles of peace for tempest-tossed days. Candles of grace to ease heavy burdens. Candles of love to inspire all of my living. Candles that will burn all year long. I will light candles. Christmas is about the birth of the Christ consciousness at the very center of the human soul, which is the holy place within and a very high attainment. Metaphysically, we look at the birth of Jesus as the birth in our awareness of our latent spiritual potential. We look at the Christmas story as our story. Paul said Christ in you, the hope of glory. 1 Corinthians 3:16 says, "Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you?" We can call God anything we want: creator, the divine, energy, whatever that is, whatever feels best to us, that so we are able to take it in and feel it. As we step into the darkest time of year, it's good to remember joy can always be present if we allow it. Joy is a choice purposefully made. So if joy sneaks in on you today somewhere, don't run. Stay right there. Don't run and don't hide. And the truth is, we can't hide from joy. It's going to show up, but it's our choice if we want to embrace it and feel it. Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of the divine. It's here in this room. What does joy look like to you? How do you spread joy to others? There's a woman in our community named Kim Murphy, and she and her family have been part of the Lawrence community for many, 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 many years. And Kim is an embodiment of someone who has chosen to serve others. She has chosen that path. It's not an easy path. She was born with a beautiful gift of her voice. She was born with a beautiful, big, loving, compassionate personality. She was born with the gift of recognizing and drumming up some joy. This woman has given so much back to the community, specifically of Lawrence, Kansas. She's volunteered here, she's volunteered there, she's given. When she and her son were taking care of her mother in their home towards the end of her life, and her mother passed away, and it was Christmas season, she wanted to do something that would not only uplift herself, but be a gift to the community. And so she started doing an annual Christmas performance at the Eldridge Hotel. And she got together some other musicians, and she did a Christmas sing-along there. No charge, no fee, and she made it fun. She did this thing with the 12 days of Christmas, where under everybody's table was a day, the number like 5 golden rings, whatever you got, that was going to be your thing. And when it came around to you, and if you were the maids of milking or the swans of swimming or whatever you were, your table stood up at the top of your lungs and went, and she made it fun, and her heart was breaking. But she decided to lift herself up, lift her community up, and she's done it for years and years and years. She just did that again this, I believe, last Thursday. And at one point, there is a conga line. And there are certain things that she does every year. One of them is, let's see, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So everybody named Harold comes up. And it is. All the heralds come up and sing. And she does a thing with the 12 days of Christmas. And when she gets to Feliz Navidad, everybody gets up and did a conga line all around. And they did it in the ballroom at the Eldridge again on Thursday. Joy. She has brought joy to her community for so many years. I can't even count them all. What does joy look like to you? How can you spread joy to others? It's not a forced thing. It happens naturally. Frederick William Faber said, "There are souls in this world who have the gift of finding joy everywhere and leaving it behind them when they go." Many of the souls are in this room right now. Just think to yourself, who is that? Who in my life has had that gift of finding joy and leaving it behind them when they go, who is that? Could I do that? Yes, you can. So in closing, here's some things to try this week. Stay on the trail of joy. Seek it out, spread it. Joy multiplies when it is shared. What would your dream day look like? Stepping away from any work or obligations or worries about finances or health, what would that dream day look like? Or school. And when you think about, feel your shoulders relax. Take that deep breath. What would that dream day look like? It doesn't have to be realistic, or it can be very much of this world. What can you do to bring joy to someone else? And in closing, before we go into meditation, I'd like to read a poem to you by Donna Ashworth called Joy Chose You. Joy does not arrive with a fanfare on a red carpet strewn with flowers of a perfect life. Joy sneaks in as you pour a cup of coffee, watching the sun hit your favorite tree just right. And you usher joy away because you're not ready for it. Your house is not as it must be for such a distinguished guest, but joy cares nothing for your messy home or your bank balance or your waistline, you see. Joy is supposed to slither through the cracks of your imperfect life. That's how joy works. You cannot invite her. You can only be ready when she appears, and hug her with meaning, because in this very moment, joy chose you. So as we relax and get ready to go into meditation, get comfortable in your chair or wherever you are at home. We're going to take a deep, deep centering breath in any way that's comfortable to you. Relax our shoulders and our jaws and release any tension that we may have. And as we listen to this song, we let ourselves be in this moment. Still, 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 one can hear the falling snow, for all is hushed, the world is sleeping, holy star, its vigil keeping still. One can hear the falling snow. Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. The night is peaceful. All around you, close your eyes. Let sleep surround you. Still, still, still.
eve of our Savior's birth. And so we close our eyes. And we remember what brings us joy. We remember that the divine is ever present, no matter what is happening, no matter what appears to be happening in our lives. If we allow that stillness, we can allow the joy that will eventually come. What brings us joy? And we breathe. And we breathe. And we go to that still place in the silence, and we breathe. What brings us joy? Dream, dream, dream of the joyous day to come. My guardian angels without number watch you as you sweetly slumber. Slowly, gently, we bring ourselves back to this room and this time. And we breathe. And when we are ready, we open our eyes. And we remember. We are not alone. I want to feel joy this morning. I pray on Christmas. Yeah, the Lord gonna see me through. I pray on Christmas. Show me just what to do. You know I pray on Christmas. Yeah, that I will understand. pray on Christmas. You know I pray on Christmas. I pray on Christmas. I'm gonna make it through another day. Well, I pray on Christmas that the sick will soon be strong. Oh, I pray on Christmas. Oh, Lord, will I hear my song? I pray on Christmas. Well, it's gonna show the way. I pray on Christmas. Well, we're gonna make it through another day. I pray on Christmas. I pray on Christmas. I pray on Christmas. Yeah, I'm gonna make it through another day. I'm gonna make it, yes, I'm gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Oh, yes, we're gonna make it through another day. Yeah, I got joy, joy, joy down in my heart. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. I hope we all feel more joy than when we started after all that. It was beautiful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, as our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. As the love offering is collected, let's join Kelly in singing Joy to the World.
Joy to the world, Christ is come. Let earth your glory reign. Let every heart prepare the road. And nature sing, and nature sing, and heaven sing. We heal the world with truth and grace, and let nations know the glories of His consciousness and wonders of God's love, and wonders of God's love, and wonders of
And as our ushers come forward, we will share our prayer of thanks in just a moment. You're all being so generous. They just need a little another moment. Thank you. We are grateful and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. All right, now for our opportunities. A special welcome to our guests today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like more information about Unity of Lawrence or the Unity Movement, there are welcome packets out in the foyer on the table. Please feel free to take one. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Jade Garden at 1410 Castle Drive, and everybody is invited for a time of fellowship together. Remember, Evolution's Sacred Sound Group meets this afternoon right here at 1:30. So bring an instrument, or there's instruments here, or you can just take it in. It's a wonderful experience. We have a housekeeping position open, so if you're looking for a part-time job, let me know, or let Kathy Moreland know. The job will begin at the beginning of the new year. The first annual Unity Art Auction fundraiser is up and running. So there's art, in case you don't know, all down the ramp and also by the stairs. And I checked out, me too, I've been checking it out. And, we've got some bidding going on, but there are some pieces with, no bid yet. And then there's some bidding wars going on other pieces. So this is a fundraiser for us. We're hoping to end our year at 100%. So, please check it out after services. If you have time, do your bidding. Next Sunday, the 29th, is the end of the auction. So get your bids in now. And let's see what we can bring in together here toward the end of the year. We have an updated amount for the gift cards for the Willow Center. Last week we told you it was like $200. Well, guess what? It was actually $475. Wow. Thank you so much for your generosity, and we're going to continue to collect hats and gloves and socks for the Homeless Resource Center through next Sunday as well. So there's a box out there to toss those in if you bring them to help keep people warm this winter. There's still time to sign up for chaplain training. There's going to be a brief meeting held to get organized on Sunday, January 5th after services, and you may see Diane Silver for more information about that. Also, taking the training doesn't mean you're saying, I'm going to be a chaplain for the rest of my life and I have to pray for everybody. I mean, it's just, you can decide that later, okay? Was that funny? I was just trying to ease your mind. I didn't want to be like was it Pruitt, the one that was intense? Oh, Mrs. Spencer. I wanted to be like Mrs. Pruitt and just relax you if you're interested in it, check it out. Okay, there will be choir practice tomorrow, Monday, December 23rd at 6:20. So we're performing for the Christmas Eve service on the 24th, which is going to be a candlelight service at 6 p.m. Okay, so there will not be open meditation Tuesday night. There will be our candlelight Christmas Eve service at 6 p.m. It's going to be about an hour. There's going to be a lot of singing. It's going to be a really neat service. Holly's been putting it together, and there's other things going on in the service as well. So I hope you'll come and invite your friends or your family that are visiting, whatever, and take that in. And the men and those who and non-binary people are meeting this Thursday at 7 o'clock in the fellowship hall as well. And then join us next Sunday when Jay Pryor leads our annual Burning Bowl ceremony, and Star Sister Revival will bring us special music. If you've never been to the Burning Bowl service, it is we experience a letting go activity, which is really it's very powerful. So I really invite you to experience that. So now it's time to rise and sing the peace song.